Hey everyone, so I was away on vacation when the link to this video was sent to me. Now, I wouldn't normally respond or react to stuff like this. As they say, don't feed the trolls, right? I'm well aware that in doing so I may be introducing this vlogger and her drama pool to people who were blissfully unaware of her existence. However, as I was lounging on the top deck, sailing down the Danube, I had plenty of time to think, and a few things struck me that I wanted to get off my chest. And as Pris decided to call me out by name, I thought I'd return the favour. Here's the thing, Pris has a lot to say. She says so herself. Unfortunately, she doesn't seem to do much thinking or research or acquire any level of knowledge on her subject before opening her trap. Or rather before she writes her prompts for ChatGPT to tell her what to say when she opens her trap. It's super interesting to me that someone talks so much about the scourge of events and event owners, but she only ever mentions Seraphim by name, and now me personally too. I did wonder if in a past life on SL she's been declined coverage by Seraphim, or maybe she's applied to work for us and been rejected. That's very possible because Seraphim does require a high standard of consistency and accuracy, as well as a real eye for detail, all of which are lacking in nearly all her content. Or maybe it's a bit more nefarious than that. Is she on someone else's payroll? Is somebody else pulling the strings? Anything is possible. Either way, she's clearly doing what she claims other people do. She's trying to build her channel for monetization off the back of work of other people. If you haven't seen her video, don't go anywhere. You don't need to go to her channel, because I'll be showing almost all of it here under YouTube's fair use policy.
Another new event in Second Life. Shock of the century. Or maybe just Tuesday. Welcome to Velvet Bohème, the shiny new front business in the Prim Mafia's empire.
Alright, let's stop right here. We're 30 seconds in and she's already dropping the Prim Mafia line. Get your shot glasses out, let's make this a drinking game. Every time she says this ridiculous phrase, take a shot. You may not make it to the end of the video, but you'll feel great. Until the morning. Here's the actual reality. Seraphim has supported the community for years, covering everything from massive annual festivals to tiny startups, all for free, no charge, no strings. Yes, we charge for advertising banners and sidebars, which are optional, but you know, we have costs. We pay our staff. We're not fleecing anyone, we're not forcing anyone, we're here to help support brand. Compare that to some of our competitors who do charge for coverage and for advertising and own numerous events, weekly events, monthly events, annual events, and yet it's crickets from Pris. She doesn't touch them, she doesn't name them, but us, Seraphim, me, we're the boogeymen. Me thinks her bias is showing. And it makes you wonder what her real agenda is, because it's not accuracy or consistency or anything resembling a fair critique.
And let's be honest, the only velvet here is lining somebody's Linden balance. Last week, Marak dropped a set at an event I'd never even heard of. And here's the thing, new events pop up all the time. At this point, I don't even flinch. I go to the big ones. Or I follow my favorite brands, and that's it. This time it was Merak dragging me there. But in hindsight, you know what would actually be useful? A press release. Yeah, imagine that. Welcome to our shiny new event. Here's who we are. Here's why we exist. Here's what makes us different. Give me a story, not just a logo slapped on a sim. Better yet, go full transparency. If you're new, tell us who owns the event. Because outside of the creators on the lineup, nobody has a clue who's running what. We shouldn't have to break out magnifying glasses and group ownership tabs just to connect the dots. Not that it matters who owns what, or does it. And since nobody seems interested in transparency, let me help.
She's 100% right here. A press release is a great idea. That's why I did one. I sent it to credible news sources and to bloggers. For example, Caitlin DeBuyer's got it. Here's the post she created from that press release. Now, why would I have not sent it to press? Because she's not a journalist. She doesn't check her sources. She doesn't research, though she claims she does. Ask yourself this. If she does so much research, how is she so clueless? She cherry picks whatever fits the story she wants to sell. That's not just unethical, that's a con. She's not entitled to the respect of a press release from me, just so that she can twist it into some AI-written drivel.
Here's what a truly honest PR release for a new event might sound like. Dear shoppers, this month we've decided to launch a brand new shopping event because we noticed other people charging 3,000 lindens per booth and thought, why not 3,500? We'll also be adding a very reasonable 2,500 lindens late payment fee because nothing screams community spirit like punishing you for being a day late. Our mission is simple. Accept any brand willing to pay, no matter how many couches in beige you've already seen this year. We look forward to filling our pockets. Filling your weekends with yet another event you'll forget exists the second it closes. See you at the checkout. The management.
And here she tries her hand at comedy with a fake press release about booth fees. It's cute. But I hope she doesn't give up the day job. I'm not sure she has a future in satire. But here's what she's really trying to do. Make creators look like fools for signing up. But they're not fools. They're professionals. Nearly all of our first round designers have already indicated they want to come back for the April spring round. If this event were a scam, or they didn't do well from the event, or they thought it was a failure, they wouldn't touch it again. So what does that make her? Someone deliberately misleading her audience. There's a word for that. Actually, there's several words for that. I'll let you use your own.
Now, wouldn't that be refreshing? At least then we could drop the pretense that this is about supporting brands, when really, it's about who can squeeze the most lindens out of a 2-week calendar slot. But I digress. My apologies. So, Velvet Bohème. At the time of this video, the event will have ended. It only ran for 2 weeks. And the only reason I went there was because one of my favorite brands had a set I wanted to check out. Otherwise, it would have flown completely under my radar. But then the messages started hitting my inbox. Because of course, people notice these things. While I was over here just buying my little Merak set, others were asking, who exactly is behind this new event? And surprise, surprise. Look at the land group, look at the ownership, and there it is, Kes Crystal. Yep, you guessed it, co-owner of the Seraphim website.
Now here comes a big reveal. She's very excited. It's my profile. That's her smoking gun. I know, that I co-own Seraphim. That's not a scandal, it's a public fact. But notice how she frames it like it's some dirty secret, because that's how you get clicks. That's her game. Take ordinary truths, twist them into conspiracies and sell outrage. That's not accountability, that's manipulation. It's the oldest grift on YouTube.
Oh, the plot thickens. The Prim Mafia strikes again. This isn't just some scrappy little side hustle. This is top of the food chain. The same site that loves to brag about not charging events to be listed. Which they don't need to, of course, because they charge for everything else. And now, they've added a shiny new event to their collection, as if the others weren't enough to keep their pockets warm. So the question is, why? Did they need some extra cash, or was it just boredom? But I am impressed. And it usually takes a bit to impress me. But I'm impressed because this is not just a 2-week event. Out of the blue, well, for us, as I'm sure they've planned this a long time ago, they're pulling together some of the most well-known creators in Second Life. And here's what I can't stop wondering. How did they manage it? How did all these top creators, already stretched with their regular event schedules, suddenly crank out brand new products just for this? Connections? Favors? Or maybe when the Prim Mafia calls, you don't say no.
This is the second biggest laugh that I had while watching this video. Because she's really suggesting that designers are only doing Velvet Bohème because they were scared of us. I mean, it's not just laughable, it's insulting to both us and the designers in question. These are smart, savvy business people. Some of them pulled in 4,000% profit on booth costs. That's real revenue. But she doesn't mention any of that because the truth doesn't make her money. Fear does. Smearing does. That's her hustle. Shit stirring. Last I checked, that made you a janitor or a sewage worker, not a serious information news vlogger.
And that's where the real story kicks in. Because Velvet Bohème isn't just another event. It's another symptom of the disease. The grid is drowning in events. Every week it feels like another one pops up. Burnout? That's your problem. Profit? That's theirs.
Then she pivots into a rant about oversaturation. Sure, events are plenty. We all know that. But Velvet Bohème wasn't just about shopping. It was immersive. There was art. There was live music. There were DJs. That's why people showed up. That's why creators joined. She leaves all of that out because her story works better if she pretends it didn't exist. That's not oversight, that's intentional omission. And intentional omission is lying by another name.
So when Velvet Bohème pops up out of nowhere with some of the grid's top names, and you find out it's run by the same people who already own the biggest pipeline of advertising power, that's not just another event. That's consolidation. That's the Prim Mafia flexing its muscle. Because this isn't about bringing you a fresh, exciting new shopping experience. It's about control.
She claims Velvet Bohème was about control. Wrong. It was just me and Dell, as friends, building something fresh, no hidden empire, no mafia playbook, just creativity. We wanted to make something new and fresh, and we did. But here's her trick. Keep repeating the word mafia until people start believing it. It's propaganda, pure and simple.
Owning the spotlight, owning the traffic, and owning the lindens that flow through it. And when you zoom out, you realize it's all the same playbook. Raise fees, oversaturate, burn out your creators, and cash out while you still can. The shoppers get lag, the creators get scraps, and the organizers get yachts. We don't even know if Velvet Bohème is a regular thing. Monthly? Quarterly? Yearly? Or was it just a quick cash boost to top up the grid's champagne fund? And here's another fun question. Do they charge themselves for advertising on Seraphim? Because at one point it was a featured post, and then, oh look, it slid neatly into the boosted section. Very convenient.
Now this is the bit that really gave me the giggles, because the very stupidity of the point. She asks if Del and I paid ourselves for advertising. That's how little she understands. Velvet Bohème wasn't a Seraphim event, and Seraphim's team members, all of them, get advertising perks, as well as paid time off, payroll bonuses, incentive plans. That's standard. But she doesn't bother to find out how it works, because accuracy doesn't drive her channel. Accusations do. She's not interested in truth. She's interested in clicks. Also, you can't actually pay yourself. Open your profile, see if the pay button's there. It's not.
They had 74 brands in this first round. Let's be generous and pretend they only charge 3,000 lindens per booth. That's 222,000 lindens. About $880. Not bad for a 2-week pop-up. Now minus the tier, which by the way is a full 30,000 Prim region they've barely touched. So yeah. Why 30,000? A 20k region would have done the job, especially since they've got less than 10 Prims rezzed. So either they've got some master plan we haven't seen yet, or they just like flexing with the deluxe package. But hey, that's amazing. Bravo. Well done.
She closes with some made-up math, a cheap shot at the region size, and again, Prim Mafia. It's lazy and repetitive, but what you have to remember is she's looking to get her view time, her view hours up so that she can get to the next monetization step. So repetitiveness is par for the course. Here's the actual truth. Velvet Bohème was a success. Designers made money, shoppers enjoyed the art, the music, the community, and yet the shopping. Nearly every single creator from round one is returning for April, and that speaks a lot louder than Pris's YouTube channel. Because we had events ongoing with live music, etc., we had upwards of 80 avatars on Sim at the time, so we got a region with as much resource as we could. Of course, she couldn't mention that because she hadn't mentioned any of the other things happening at the event. It didn't fit her story. She's got this fictional idea and she can only say things that support that. So let me be clear, she can dress up lies as opinion as much as she wants, but that doesn't make them true. And when you deliberately mislead, twist facts and invent scandals, that's not commentary, that's deception. Look, we live in a world where people lie with impunity and do it with so much confidence that people believe them. Bad faith actors are everywhere in all aspects of life. This one isn't going to use my name and my good reputation with the creator community to cash in on drama without a response.